good morning, one and all. I'm really pleased to welcome all our esteemed panel members who have graciously accepted our invitation and graced this occasion with their presence. I, Dr. Shalini Gautam, Associate Professor and Head Outreach, along with my co-convener, Ms. Shanu Jain, would like to formally welcome all of you to this multidimensional leadership conclave. Now, today's topic of MDLC is strengthening collaborative educational ecosystem from school to higher education. The education institutions are going through a paradigm shift. In the morning only we were talking about the NEP which are going to be launched, a lot of changes which are happening, a lot of reforms which are taking place in the education sector. So this is one sector which are going to witness a lot of interesting times. Schools, as we know, they are the foundation of the education system. The student is spending more than 12 years of his or her life in the schools. So if the students are not prepared while in schools, we cannot expect them to meet the challenges ahead. And that's why the collaboration effort between these schools and the higher educations are required. If our schools and colleges, they do not figure out the ways to work together, they almost certainly will experience the problems of growing magnitude separately. Hence, making today's topic of panel discussion quite relevant. So therefore, without much ado, I would like to introduce all my panel members one by one. First and foremost, Mrs. Nidhi Sirohi ma'am. She is from GD Goenka School. She is the principal of GD Goenka School. She has the career spanning more than 30 years and worked in various schools in various capacities. She is a lead assessor for Quality Council of India and a master trainer with CBSE British Council and leadership programs for Johar Navodaya schools. She has presented various research papers in international conferences at Liverpool and Manchester, UK. We welcome you, ma'am. I would also like to welcome Dr. Neeraj Awasthi sir. He is a seasoned scholar having more than 23 years of experience in the field of education. He has earned a doctorate in the field of management and a post-graduation degree in education. Dr. Awasthi has done FDPs from IIM Ahmedabad and all. Currently, he is working as a principal modern school, Noida. He has initiated many of the educational projects and has remained as the chief coordinator for CCE for 3 years and CT examination for more than 2 years. He has reviewed many books to his credit and has remained a peer evaluator for an international journal. We welcome you, sir. I would also like to welcome Dr. Veena Singh Tyagi ma'am. She is the principal of the Millennium School. She has done a doctorate in education and postgraduate in history. She has more than 14 years of experience in the field of education. At present, she is working as the principal of the Millennium School, Noida, Sector 41. She is passionate about innovative teaching methodologies and use of technology in education. We welcome you, ma'am. I would also like to welcome Ms. Neha from Hindustan Times Education Division. She is our media partner for this event and she has been a great support in the past as well. We welcome you, Ms. Neha. Over to you, Shanu ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to one and all. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce another panelist, our own Professor Dr. Ravikant Swami. Sir has a decorated and diverse educational background with a PhD in management, MBA and Bachelor's in economics from prestigious universities in India. He has certifications and trainings from IIM Bangalore, Calcutta, IFT, to name a few. Sir has an assorted list of subjects at his command that credits him with excellence of a multivariate teaching style. He has published numerous research papers and supervised PhD theses, MPhil dissertations and at MBA levels as well. Sir leads the management school with his superior guidance and inspiring style of teaching. He motivates all of us remarkably to induce better teaching and assure better learning outcomes under his able guidance. His visionary attitude helps drive the institute a step closer to its mission each day. We welcome you, sir. Also, I would like to introduce our panelist to the inspiration behind this entire series of MDLC, our head of the department, Professor Dr. Purva Ranjan. So, ma'am is a certified POSH trainer and currently working as a professor and head at DME Management School. She has done her PhD in retail marketing management, and she has been the founder of Mentoring Cell, Entrepreneurship Cell and Skill Cell at DME. She's working closely with students for skill enhancement purposes for various areas like digital marketing, MS tools, entrepreneurship development, Google tools, to name a few. Over the years, she has organized several FDPs, workshops, and many international conferences. She is also a certified Google digital marketeer and has a rich experience of digital marketing. We welcome you now. Before we formally begin with the session, I would like to request Dr. Swami and Dr. Purva to please step up the dais and present a token of felicitation to our guests. So first, I would like to request Ms. Nidhi Sirohi ma'am to please step forward and receive a small welcoming appreciation from us. Next, I would request Dr. Neeraj Awasthi sir to please come forward. Next, I would request Ms. Veena Singh Tyagi ma'am. Also, I would request Ms. Neha ma'am from HT School Division to please come forward. Before we begin with the panel discussion, I would request Purva ma'am to please come to the dais and give her opening remarks and set the theme for the session.
Thank you, Ishan ma'am, and welcome to the esteemed panelists today, and all the students and the guests in the Studio 62. It's quite interesting to notice that, let's say a car or a pen would take several days or months to get manufactured. But you have reached at this point post 12 to 13 years of strong education, and you have still more 3 years to go and 2 more years of PG. I think so students are the longest service product that anybody can manufacture, and continuous improvement keeps happening. This makes the whole system very complex in itself. And traditionally the education begins at home. So while from the point you're born till you do probably PhD, there is always value addition constantly happening to you from so many places, whether it is your daycare, your play school, your formal school, your undergraduate college, postgraduate college, research, postdoctorate, and so many partners come together to shape up what you are today. So many school teachers, so many subject teachers, so many, the senior people involved in the academic system have, put in their brains together, their hearts together to shape each one of you. And that's how your careers get formed. It's not a day's task, it's not a year's task. It takes two decades to make a doctor or engineer, a principal, architect out of you all. It's a very, very long, very painstaking, a very fulfilling process. And I feel that, after spending 16 years down the line in education, that, we may not be the frontline staff in the COVID, but we are definitely the frontline staff in every student's life. Because together, whether it is a school teacher from nursery to a class 12 teacher to a undergraduate teacher to a postgraduate teacher, if all these people were not there, you wouldn't be here, So you should always be grateful to the teacher who has taught you in nursery, wish her on Teachers' Day. The same that you do while you're here and you wish your undergraduate teachers. And the whole situation where you get to meet us together is probably one of such opportunities where we come together. And there have been situations when while we are teaching students, we back of the mind, आई होप स्कूल में ये टॉपिक करा दिया हो, हमें रिपीट ना कराना पड़े. होता है, वेरी कॉमन. Because your first year topics, business maths, business communication, economics are extension of what you were done in class 11th and 12th. And that is when we feel that why don't we work together? Why do we have to work in silos? Ask the teachers who are co-producing the same product. And the product is getting extended from one manufacturing line to another manufacturing line. The producers need to come together. And who are the service producers here? All the teachers, the principals, the heads, the directors. And that's where we have to move from isolation to collaboration. When brands can collaborate and give you a bundle of opportunities together, why not us? And solve our pain areas together. So all the education institutes have certain common pain areas. So when we come together, we not only solve each other's pain areas, but we are able to capitalize on each other's strength also. We are able to get the best. And who is the one who is getting maximum advantage? It is the students. So whatever we discuss here, go back and discuss with your parents, discuss with your batchmates, because in the limited seating capacity, not all can be here. And I'll be really happy if somebody comes and says that, when I complete my education, I want to do teaching. I want to become a teacher. In different areas, whether you want to be a law teacher, a management teacher, architect, everywhere. Unless we have teachers, more students can be taught. So I'll be very happy that if you want to be teachers, you want to be groomed by the eminent teachers here. We are HODs, principals, directors, much later. We all started as teachers. And we are till date, the core at heart is we are teachers. So today I welcome all the teachers who are passionate about what they do and invite them to discuss on the most important issue and moving on from isolation to collaboration, so that the complexity created by NEP and UGC and etc. on paper is solved in a very, very beautiful way, and at the end the output is much more beautiful that we had envisioned probably 20 years back. So with this, I set the forum rolling on. Over to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Purva ma'am. Thank you for setting up the theme so beautifully. Okay, I think I'm audible. That's okay. So first and foremost, is it okay? Now it is working. So I was saying thank you, Purva ma'am, for set the ball rolling and putting the theme so beautifully in place. So now we will start with the panel discussion. So as per our studies, what we have found out that there are certain parameters on which the collaboration is possible between schools and higher institutions. So we are going to talk about those various parameters. So first and foremost, the parameter which comes to the mind is physical resources. So regarding this, I would like to put my first question to you, Dr. Tyagi, that as far as the physical resources are concerned, be it these kind of labs or sports facilities or marketing labs, science labs, how the collaboration between schools and higher institutions are possible, what should we do to go ahead with this collaboration both ways, not only school students coming and visiting our studio and all, but even our students going and using the sport facilities of the schools. So how to take this collaboration going forward?
Thank you for the question. First of all, I just want to emphasize on one thing, that in today's world, we are living in a self-constrained universe, be it a school or a college. We have our own resources and we are just trying to utilize them, make visibility of those resources and attract more people in our institution or our college. And we are trying to create an image that we have everything, whatever is needed. And that is the most dangerous thing right now in this world where we are talking about sustainability, right? So we need to work upon a world where we are talking about engaged campuses. I think that is a term which is used nowadays for cross-level collaboration, which we are talking about right now. So when we talk about cross-level collaboration between college and school, and especially about the physical resources. Yes, it is very important. And when I entered into this studio, I was really impressed by the setup. And I asked sir that how they use in the college, in which particular course it is used, and how in the back of the mind I was thinking how I can utilize this for my school. In the same manner, if you don't have a sport facility in your college, and our school is having a big playground with coaches and every equipment we need, then we can also provide the same thing to you. So it is right kind of a mutual give and take kind of situation where we have to utilize the resources. It is a need of the time. We cannot create those kind of universes, those don't need anything from outside. So yes, I am in a favor of resource sharing, physical resources or the human expertise also. That is the next dimension of it, where we are having exchange programs of teachers or the students to have those kind of collaboration where we can use that expertise of the resources.
True that, ma'am, and that is what our next question is to. So, taking forward here, I would request Dr. Avasthi to share his thoughts that how can we share the intellectual sources, like just ma'am just talked about the human resources and the human collaboration. So how about having some collaborative research projects, because we in the higher education always have this pressure of research, publications. So how can we have that collaboration with the schools, probably some case studies with school students as our sampling audience, or maybe either vice versa. So your thoughts on that, sir?
Also, very good afternoon to everyone. I think afternoon has started or not? Good morning. I would like to welcome all the students because I can see your faces also. The way you are sitting here, that is very pleasing to me because I have never seen the students in such a sincere mode. So you are sitting very sincerely. It means you are ready to conquer the world also, because the seriousness always gives us something good. Number one, as I was listening to ma'am also, जैसे ही मैं बात कर रहा था मेरे दिमाग में सबसे पहले एक एक्सपीरियंस मिला आया. द एक्सपीरियंस वाज व्हेन आई वाज विद IMT गाजियाबाद. तो हमारे पास Kellogg स्कूल ऑफ बिजनेस के स्टूडेंट्स दे हैव कम टू आवर कैंपस. एंड व्हाई दे वर हियर, दे वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंडियन कल्चर. तो हमने उनको होली खिलवाई, उनके साथ होली नहीं थी उस टाइम पे, बट वी हैव अरेंज द फेस्टिवल होली फॉर दोज स्टूडेंट्स. एंड वी हैव ऑल्सो टेकन देम टू आगरा लेके गए उनको ताजमहल दिखाने के लिए. उसके बाद हम उनको चांदनी चौक भी लेके गए ह्यूमन ट्रैफिक दिखाने के लिए कि ह्यूमन ट्रैफिक क्या होती है, इंडिया में कैसे होती है. और देन वी हैव टेकन देम टू द NGOs ऑल्सो टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जो नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थी कैसे काम करती हैं. एंड यू विल बी सरप्राइज, क्योंकि आप लोग मैनेजमेंट के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, मैं इसलिए आपके हिसाब से बात कर रहा हूँ. वो सारे एक्सपीरियंस उनके लाइफ में काम आए और एट द एंड वो बहुत ही बैटरी का प्लेस हुआ. सेम वे हमने एक महिंद्रा वार के लिए वी हैव गाइडेड द स्टूडेंट्स. हमने एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाया महिंद्रा वार रूम. आप सब लोग जानते होंगे, यू आर VBA स्टूडेंट्स, हो सकता है 2 साल बाद आप लोग भी वहाँ जाएँ. तो हमने एक जो मिडल मैन को कैसे एलिमिनेट किया जाता है उसके लिए हमने एक प्रोजेक्ट बनाया. एंड वी हैव डन ए केस स्टडी ऑफ वेजिटेबल मार्केट दैट इज नियर गाजियाबाद. अ पॉइंट है कोलैबोरेशन. सो I am coming to that point because why I am giving these examples, because when the Kellogg School of Business, who is one of the best school of the business in India, in world, sorry, when they are coming to India for a collaboration for 15 days or 1 month, it means this is a world where we need each and everyone. हमें सबको एक दूसरे की जरूरत है. श्रीलंका में क्राइसिस हुए, इंडिया गवर्नमेंट ने हेल्प की. क्यों हेल्प की? बिकॉज वी आर हैविंग वेरी गुड रिलेशनशिप विद श्रीलंका. अगर नहीं होते तो नोबडी विल गो देयर. कोविड आया, सब लोगों को एक दूसरे की हेल्प की जरूरत पड़ी. इट्स ए टाइम ऑफ ए कोलैबोरेटिव वर्क. आप किसी भी प्रोडक्ट से मैंने कहा कि सो मेनी ब्रांड्स, मैक्स कूपा है, ICI प्रूडेंशियल है, जितने भी ब्रांड का नाम लोगे, पीपल आर कोलैबोरेटिंग टू मेक देयर साइज बिग. Same way we can also collaborate. Definitely, as ma'am has said, that the case studies, definitely, because now we are coming with a new kind of pattern of CBSE schools, and that is the case study based questions are here. We can ask the students We can get, Delhi government has started a very good concept also, mentorship. Your students can be a mentor of our students. The BBA students can come as a mentor to the class 11th and 12th students so that they can understand how the BBA is going to benefit in their future. So एक option हो सकती है. Our teachers can also come to your classes and tell them what are the basic concepts are still which you should be clear at this moment. तो हमारे टीचर भी आ सकते हैं, आप लोग भी आ सकते हैं. Moreover, the teachers of your college can also come to our campuses to understand the talent of our students, and they can also guide them that which course is more beneficial for them. Because everybody has his own way of understanding the things. So you can come to the college school and you can find out the interest of students. In the same way, you can guide the new courses also. Why our people are not employable? हम लोग हमेशा डिस्कस करते हैं क्योंकि लोगों को नौकरी नहीं मिलती. Then ultimately we say one thing, because our courses are not good enough for the corporate sector. तो हमारी corporate collaboration होनी चाहिए. We should understand what corporate wants. Then only we can impart that kind of a skill to the students. Same way, if the college will come to a school, then they can tell the school also कि what kind of students they are looking for, what kind of GDs they are conducting. आप लोग GDs करते हैं, group discussions करते हैं, and other students they are not aware of GDs. We guide them for the debate, declamation, for other things, but not for the GD. You can come forward and tell them. You can host a GD also for our students. So there are so many ways. Basically, I think it's only one step which we have to take. And when we will take that one step, we will find some new ways also, because the world is all about innovations. आप innovation करते रहेंगे, collaboration बढ़ती रहेंगी.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We were only talking about sharing of intellectual resources, but you have gone one step ahead, and we are now talking about sharing of our students also. So it is not only a student exchange programs between Kellogg School and our school or your school, but why not between colleges and schools? I would really be happy to propose, BBA students to become the buddy mentors for your school
they
students.
can also come to play game also, like a volleyball match, basketball match. We can have so many things.
Yeah. So
Fun
we can-
also, not only a study. We can have fun also.
Fun also, yes. So let's have certain, competitions and all between schools and college students, and let's take it one step forward. So thank you so much, sir, for putting your views. So next question is to Nidhi Saroi ma'am. Ma'am, there are, we are planning to offer certain certificate courses also to the school students. Not only to the classes 11th and 12th, which are, you can say the ready-made market to us, but also starting right from classes 6th onwards, right? So we are thinking of various certificate courses, the subjects, the topics which are generally not covered in school curriculum, like your financial literacy, media literacy, cyberbullying, IPR rights. I'm coming from the law background, so I'm talking about that. So the things which the students are, the school students are not very well aware of. So do you think that these kind of programs would help the school children, and how to go about it? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. A very good morning to all. Surrounded by such intellectuals, itself sets you thinking and thinking in so many directions. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all the organizers for having such a kind of an exchange of thoughts, because one, as Sir just mentioned, having exchange programs. So I would kind of take it from the very basic, as they say, you learn by traveling. So, and traveling of every kind. Traveling is not only physical, it's mental, it's getting exposure to different situations, cultures. And when we talk of school and colleges, I think it's a very, very relevant topic that we're discussing here today. Ma'am also mentioned that we've all been working in isolation. So a school, and a school is working in isolation even from society, if I may say so. So when you're talking of financial literacy, let's talk of the very basics. Being from the law background, as we just said, most of us are not even aware of our human rights. So when I'm talking of human rights, it is what we should know about ourselves, what rights we enjoy, what are our duties, and I think all of it, as an educator, I have been thinking that it should be a part of the curriculum. So we don't have to look for outside and external resources to giving us that. As schools and educational institutions, it should be developed within our own ecosystem. And here, you mentioned very rightly, I think that ecosystem has to expand. So college is an extension of schooling. So as it was mentioned right at the onset of the event, that a journey of 15 years or 18 years, as it may be, has to be in a flow. And like right from talking of admissions to college and what is happening in colleges and what colleges expect the student to know or what the school should be giving to the student when they're coming to college, I don't think we've had forums where we've sat down and discussed that this is what we expect the child to be knowing and expecting from college. So when students go to college, I'm talking about myself also, we are in for a major surprise, something nobody told us about. We pick up courses, even if they're professional courses, of which we know nothing about. So if I'm picking up a college, let's say engineering, for instance, because that's the most sought after professional course today, I think 99% of the students don't even know what they will have to do once they become an engineer or what kind of a course they would be studying. Do they have an interest or an aptitude or they're wanting to do it? The only thing probably they've heard is and read all these stories is that you will get that salary and you will have a Google coming and picking you up and you'll have a Facebook coming and picking you up, which may be true, but that's not what actually happens. So so that bridge has to be, the gap has to be bridged and awareness has to be brought about. And I think that there a role has to be played both by the school and higher education institution, and that's the collaboration that one should be looking for. And certification program, I think, will play a very important role in that bridging of that particular gap, because let's talk about the Indian mindset. A certificate is something when we receive, we feel very good about, And but I think that little shift right from schools to higher education, the shift from certification and grades should be towards learning. Are we learning? Everything else comes later. So that learning of whatever can be a collaboration where the higher institutions can send their resources to schools and the schools can send their resources not only to interact with the students but the faculty as well. Okay, listen, this is what we are doing in our classrooms. Do you think it's good enough for the children to be coming to you and your expectations from us? So that collaboration together will smoothen the transition from school to colleges and eventually to society. So and I as a person, always believe that whenever we plan, it should be backwards. We usually plan forwards. The planning should be backwards. What is the ultimate objective and goal that we are trying to achieve? And what are the steps that we have to take and where do we begin from and how do we take that each little step to be able to reach our goal? And to be able to reach that amazing goal, because times are changing, and let me reiterate the fact which all of us are aware here, that the times have changed so much that when these students sitting right in front of us pass out of college, for all you know that all that they have learned is redundant because there is so much more that has already happened in society. Technology is bringing about so much of change every minute of the day. And that is what we have to equip these children. So as they say, learn, unlearn and relearn. And that has to happen in collaboration.
Sure, sir.
After listening to your question, the idea has come into my mind. We can have a certificate course for the students. And as the sir has shared with me that you have a journalism in your college, the main course is journalism. What we can do, we have done this thing earlier also. When I was with IMT Ghaziabad, I have come with the idea here. We had the problem at that time that nobody is understanding what we are doing. So we are not able to showcase our things, although it's a very good brand. तो हमने क्या किया मैडम, वहाँ पे हमने एक डिपार्टमेंट वाइज हमने एक कोर्सपोंडेंट बनाया. उसका काम था on the daily basis he has to share the story of his class to the editor. There is a committee, media and personal relation committee. And this media and personalization committee will find out which story is good, and this story has to be put in the IMT bulletin. Okay. And same thing I have again replicate the same concept with the दैनिक जागरण. हमने उनको एक आइडिया दिया कि स्कूल कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट बनाओ, और उन्होंने स्कूल कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट बनाए, और हर एक स्कूल में उन्होंने 2 कॉरेस्पॉन्डेंट बनाए, और वो लोग स्कूल की स्टोरीज को शेयर करते थे. And now I have an idea for you. What you can do, you can ask the students to content writing. आप उनको न्यूज़ का टाइटल दीजिए, लगातार 20 से 25 टाइटल दीजिए कि आपको उन पे न्यूज़ राइट करनी है. यू हैव टू राइट अ न्यूज़, और जो बढ़िया न्यूज़ लिखेगा उसका फेलिसिटेट करें, एप्रिशिएट करें, रिवार्ड दें. उससे क्या होगा, एक तो बच्चों में these से बड़ी द प्रॉब्लम वी आर फेसिंग, द टीचर द स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट रीडिंग बेसिकली. ठीक है, दे आर जस्ट स्क्रॉलिंग द स्क्रीन, they are not writing. So this will increase their retention also, because हमारा concept क्या था, why we were asking homework. हम लोग homework क्यों कहते हैं, इंडियन सोसाइटी का क्या concept है हमारा. जब एक बच्चा homework करता है ना, why we are asking every time कि बेटे लिख के लाओ. बच्चा बड़ा बोर होता है कि क्यों लिखें, क्या जरूरत है, what is the fun. साइंस. आप जब लिखना शुरू करते हो, आप पहले उसको रीड करो. रीड करोगे, आप 20 वर्ड रीड करोगे, आप राइट कर पाओगे 5 वर्ड, 6 वर्ड. अब दोबारा रीड करो. जितनी बार आप रीड करोगे, आपके माइंड में प्रिंट बन रहा है, और जितना स्ट्रॉन्ग प्रिंट होगा उतना ही आपका रिकॉल क्या होगा, बढ़िया होगा. तो जब आप नोट्स बनाते हैं, व्हेन यू स्टार्ट मेकिंग नोट्स, ट्राई टू मेक नोट्स इन राइटिंग ओनली. व्हेनेवर यू राइट, इट विल गिव यू 10 मोर प्रिंट्स एज कंपेयर टू योर सी. तो आप एक वे चीज़ कर सकते हैं मैडम कि यू कैन फाइंड आउट ए न्यूज़ पर्सन, कि आप 2022 का जो है बेस्ट न्यूज़ मेकर कौन है, कुछ ऐसा अवार्ड यू कैन गिव. जैसे आईफा अवार्ड होते हैं, वैसे आप यू कैन आल्सो प्लान.
The media person is sitting right here, so
I have
think
given the
we
idea.
can-
You can.
I am
We can-
sharing with ma'am.
Yeah.
Because
हम ये करते हैं मैम.
हाँ.
We are doing
We
it from
have our
last
media
10 years.
partner right here.
because I am the I have done MBA and then I did the mass communication as well from Bharati Vidya Bhavan. तो वहाँ पर ये सिखाया जाता था कि न्यूज़ कैसे बनती है.
बिल्कुल, कैसे लिखी
अगर
जाती है.
कुत्ते ने इंसान को काटा तो वो न्यूज़ है.
हाँ.
वो
और
news
इंसान ने
नहीं
कुत्ते
है.
को काटा
और
तो
इंसान ने कुत्ते को काटा, that is a news.
That is telling you.
अगर आपको एक्चुअली में न्यूज़ बनानी है तो आप रोज न्यूज़पेपर पढ़िए, और उसके बाद वो न्यूज़ 4 न्यूज़पेपर में पढ़िए कि वो एक ही न्यूज़ को किस वे में आपने चारों न्यूज़पेपर में कैसे आपने करी है. उसकी जो बाई लाइनर है, उसकी जो हेडलाइन है, वो एक ही न्यूज़ को चारों पेपर में अलग अलग कैसे करी है. उसके बाद अपनी खुद की कॉन्टेंट.
इसलिए हम कई बार बोल देते हैं कि हम न्यूज़ मेकर हैं, न्यूज़ हम बनाते हैं, न्यूज़ अब खुद ही बनती है. वी आर द मेकर ऑफ न्यूज़. हम लोग इतिहास बनाते हैं, वी आर द मेकर ऑफ द हिस्ट्री. हिस्ट्री खुद नहीं बनती है, न्यूज़ खुद नहीं बनती है, हम न्यूज़ बनाते हैं. और आप ये सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स लाएंगे, मुझे लगता है दिस विल बी ए very good course for the students also. They will able to enhance their vocabulary, their writing skills.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
they will participate. I think more students will participate. I think course मत रखना, don't put course on it.
So not just writing, there is a lot of digital news.
Blogging कर सकते हैं, blog लिखवा सकते हैं.
Yes, and lot of TV anchoring is happening.
Yes.
So even the Studio 62 is
You can call the
utilized.
students.
Yes. Nearby 2-3 schools are utilizing the Studio 62 to record their online news channel also. So even you are most welcome if you have a YouTube channel for which you want recording to happen or any kind of guest interview to happen. So you can utilize Studio 62.
Thanks, the idea is great. We can do it.
We as a HT also want to utilize your studio.
Most welcome.
Wow. So many ideas, so many collaboration ideas which are coming
Like I
ahead.
said that infrastructure, everybody can't have it all actually.
Yes.
I just wanted to address the audience also and take their participation maybe in nodding way, that when they selected the course for themselves or they appeared for the entrance exam, there was a huge question mark in front of them, what we are going to do there. You are always focusing on the outcome, that I'll become a management person after doing this particular course. But what you're going through in these 3 years or maybe 5 years, you are not aware of that. What all you have to do to attain that particular goal. So when we are talking about collaboration, it is also about guiding our students, our school students, because they are just choosing some options based on some pre-notions or the peer pressure, maybe sometimes from parents, from society, and they are not aware where they are heading towards or what they are putting themselves into for next 5 years. I have seen people, those who have done the degrees and later on they got exposed to certain other ideas. कि मुझे तो ये करना था. That was a better option for me as per my aptitude. So when collaboration is happening, they are coming to your institute for certain certification courses or for the sharing of resources, or you people are coming to us as mentors. They'll be getting a fair idea that where they are heading, right? So they have a better perspective to choose a certain course or certain career for themselves. So that way I think collaboration can be from the both sides.
Both sides. Yes.
Physical resources, of course, it's a momentary kind of a thing which is very helpful. But when we talk about research sharing or sharing of human expertise, a sharing of content or the curriculum, because I think you are in somewhere in between the industry and the school education. So you know the industry needs, or maybe you need to collaborate with the industry in a better manner so that you know what is the need of the industry, and accordingly your curriculum is designed, and based on your curriculum we can prepare our children for that particular course or that degree.
So, ma'am, actually I want to add on to this because you have touched base upon that very important point. So this is just the first step, the collaboration between schools and higher education. The next step would be to collaborate with the industries as well and to the community at large, that how to take this collaboration forward so that, you know, when the placement companies come here, incidentally we have a fantastic placement season last year, the highest pay package was 10 lakhs, not to boast of, but still. So we always, you know, the industry people who comes here, they always talk about that we need industry ready people, right? So that industry readiness is not possible sometimes just in these 3 years. So why not to bring it forward from say 10th or 11th standard? Why to begin in this first year only? So that is definitely a great idea.
That's why I said the certification course is a very good way, so
Yes.
that students are already aware where they are heading, so that they can start preparing early from class 9th or 10th for that
Right.
particular area.
Absolutely.
And then they will be exposing themselves to the industry needs themselves. Because nowadays it's not the generation where we need to make them practice about the content. They already know where to find the content and work upon it. So that way we just need to expose them in that right direction, and that can be done through the higher education institutes with the schools.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your views. Thank you to all the panelists. Now, if we talk about Indian education system also, India boasts of a traditional Gurukul system, right? In fact, I was working in collaboration with one of the leading professor in Australia, and he was telling me कि Shalini, there is no word which is synonym to the word guru. जो word हिंदी में guru जो है, it is not teacher, it is not scholar, guru is guru. So he himself was saying that guru was the tradition, Gurukul was the tradition which India had, where you know, a child of a very low age, like 7 to 8 years, he's entering into a Gurukul, and then after getting all, you know, school, college, university, everything is there, and then he's passing out with all the you know, flying colors, and with, you know, koi Dhanurdhar ban raha hai, ya koi Bhim ban raha hai, or whatever, right? So these are the prominent mythological names which we know. But otherwise also that, you know, we have all those Nalanda institutes and all, where it is known for its rich tradition. Now I think with the NEP, and we are talking about collaboration for last half an hour, 45 minutes, I think we are coming to a full circle. Right? We are talking about a collaboration which used to happen in the past as well. So I would like to ask Dr. Swami that what is his take on this, you know, coming together of schools, higher education, universities, and how does it see the education past, present and future? His thoughts on the same. Over to you, sir.
Okay, so what we are discussing, to me, collaboration can be defined in one sentence, and rather lesser than a sentence, and it is collaboration to my mind is 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. That is, yeah, that is the theme of any kind of collaboration, whether you talked about companies or we are talking about school and college. It has to be a synergistic kind of collaboration. That is the theme. Having said that, yes, Gurukul was a seamless kind of system wherein the entire education was done at a single place. Vis-a-vis what we are seeing in the present scenario, that there are two phases. And yes, the reason why we are talking today is that between these two phases, there is a lot of disintegration. Like these two phases are not integrated in a seamless manner. So a lot of integration is needed. And yes, we commit mistakes when we leave our old things looking at the Western way. And that probably we did here also, like we abandoned the Gurukul system, which was in highly integrated, seamless system, and we went on to a two-phase system. Like school is one phase, college is another. So probably that disintegration is there. But then we find that like throughout the world, we find that still there are models which are following the Gurukul kind of system. When we say Gurukul, it means an integrated system right from the beginning till the education is complete. So you see Banaras Hindu University, you see AMU, you see Vanasthali. All these are systems wherein they have schools, they have colleges, they have post-graduation, they have PhD, they have postdocs also. So such systems, yes, they have their own benefits, they have their own stamping, and I think such systems are the need of the hour rather than the present system wherein there are two phases. You close with one phase and then you move to another phase. I'll tell you the disadvantages of this integrated system. Like I find at many places that the school was good, but when the student went to the college, like he spoiled his career. So that is the disadvantage of the disintegrated system which we are presently having. Yes, Gurukul was a very good model. We can have, if we cannot have that model per se, we can have some part of that model, or we can have that model in a partial manner, just like Vanasthali Vidyapeeth, which is probably the largest only for women fully residential university in the world. So that's a model working since 1934, and it's a model right from the beginning till PG or PhD or postdoc or whatever. So such models are a success. These are the typical Gurukul kind of models. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. So, like I said, together everyone achieves more. So that is what I can summarize it in. Next, I would like Ms. Nidhi Sirohi ma'am to share her thoughts, because generally there is a feeling of distrust and apprehension that come across, because that's the human nature. So we generally feel the college or the school which is nearby is maybe because we are all living in the times of competition. So there's a cutthroat competition for admissions amongst schools, amongst colleges. So how we can resolve these kind of apprehensions and distrust that might arise in the minds, the self-interest may take a upper hand, that can come across the mind. So how can we reduce those apprehensions and create that sense of confidence so that amongst the collaborators?
Before coming to your question, one little point I would like to add to when we're talking about the Gurukul system. So, of course, the integrated system that it is all about, and the child, being sent to a Gurukul and comes out, absolutely equipped to face his own life. More than that, I think it was the entire personality that was developed in the Gurukul, the value systems that were given, and what we talk about today. The West started talking about it, and then they came here without us realizing that we were the ones who gave it to the West, right? And that is experiential learning. Suddenly experiential learning becomes a very hi-fi term, and something that has come from there, but it was here. It was experiential learning, means learning by doing, and that is what was taught in the Gurukuls. When I talk about the value system, it began with, first and foremost, having respect for all kind of work. So even if they were princes, they used to clean their rooms, cook, fetch wood for their gurus, the wife. So the disparity in terms of their socio-economic backgrounds, So, if I may use a very strong word, diluting ego, because ego is manifests all evils in human being. So a lot has to be learned from that system. And when I'm talking about India, and I'm very, very proud, and I think that's one thing schools have to develop in their children, is pride for our culture. And Indian culture has so much to offer, so much to offer. It's up to us as educationists to give it back to society, remind them. So you spoke about the universities, the Nalanda, the Takshashila, the first universities of the world, where we had people, students coming from across the globe. They travel for months to be there, to be educated. And it's not only in that, it's in every area. So whether it's science, or it's technology, or it's medicine, or it's meditation, or it's literature, I think in every field, India culturally and historically has a lot to offer, and that should come back to society. And that pride for our culture, for our language, अपनी मातृभाषा के लिए हम सबको सबसे पहले करना है, because that will make a strong individual who will be there to face the world and make the world a more beautiful place. And that, I think, should be everybody's endeavor. So when we're talking about children, as you had mentioned in your opening statement, the longest manufacturing ma'am had just mentioned, I think that entire process, the first objective should be to create absolutely wonderful human beings. And that's a journey that begins right from the time the child goes to school till they're out. So once you become that wonderful human being, then you can't change yourself, because development happens in the early ages. And just the way your physical development happens, your mental development also happens, your belief system is developed. So all of it is extremely important. So, and why I said this is, so when you're talking of distrust, so when you are able to build that beautiful value system, it will have no place for distrust and mistrust. And I think as human beings, the first and foremost basis of any relationship is trust. And we should at least nurture our children in a way that they begin any relationship with trust, unless and until proved otherwise. What is happening in today's society? Just the opposite is happening. Parents tell the children, don't trust anyone. किसी पे विश्वास मत करना, बाहर बहुत गंदा ज़माना है, सब कुछ बहुत खराब है. Isn't it? That's exactly what we are teaching. And when it should be just the opposite. There is evil, fine, but if we teach everybody to be good, because at the end of it, that's how it's going to assimilate, and that's how it's going to manifest. So if everybody is taught to be good, everybody around would be good. And I think that it begins, so the mistrust begins there. So if there is competition in terms of business, because what is happening is most educational institutions are becoming a little more commercial in their entire approach, which again is a cause for concern. I think educational institutions, जैसे हमारा एक विश्वास था, मंदिर माना जाता था, and well, that's culturally us. And I think that again should be made to believe. Because I remember if I was in school, I couldn't go home and tell my parents that my teacher shouted at me, or I was punished, or I did, because we knew we would get double the dose back home. But today is just the opposite. The child knows exactly how to manipulate, because they will go in home and tell stories, and the parent will be there in the school not wanting to meet anybody but the principal. And I don't think in 14 years my parents ever met the principal, who was my school principal, or nor did I as a mother. So उनको और किसी से नहीं मिलना, प्रिंसिपल से मिलना, झाड़ना उसको कि how dare she, they don't know, we know it, we are all IT professionals, the kind of conference I'm from IIM, I'm from this, I'm from that. Now why I bring about here is, if that pride from the institution that you have passed from manifests like this, then again a cause for concern. So as they say, जितना पेड़ फलों से लदा होता है वो उतना झुका हुआ होता है, right? So adjal gagri chal kar jaye, right? And in English they say empty vessels make more noise. So these are the value systems. When once we kind of teach our children, society will be at peace, right? And of course, it's, as you said, there may be, but if we have a collaboration, and a collaboration is more about interpersonal relationship than anything else, and we don't look at it from a commercial perspective, we look at it as a win-win situation for both the institutions that are getting into collaboration, I don't think there would be any space for any kind of mistrust. Not only forgetting about the mistrust, I think it will be a huge boost to the entire ecosystem, both in the school and the higher institutions. So as we were just discussing, I think all speakers here have mentioned, when the child is going out of school and some very, very bright children, and bright in terms of what we accept as high scores, they have, lost out on years because the course they took up, they couldn't cope with it for whatever reasons. And the reasons are plenty. It's not about only studying. It could be your interest, it could be a personality type, it is something you want to do something different, then they tried out something else. Why should that happen? If there is an exposure to the child, that the child, you take a decision which is well thought of. You are well aware of what you are in for, and this is what I want to do. Not only would the child excel, and we've seen it all around us. What is success? Who excels? When we do something we are passionate about and we make that our hobby, our passion into our source of livelihood, not only are we happy human beings, we excel, and that's how success happens. And we've seen, the very basic chefs, something I don't think Indian parent would ever want their son to be a chef, and we have chefs becoming celebrities, right? So we have hairdressers and makeup artists, something that people wouldn't want their children to take up the profession, becoming absolute celebrities, as to say success, if you have to measure in every aspect, and they're happy and they're influencing everybody else. So the picture is much larger than what we actually think it is. And these kind of collaborations, I think if we are on the same platform in terms of our belief system and in terms of our objectives and in terms of what we actually want to achieve as an education institution for the students. So it would be an absolute wonderful relationship and collaboration is what I believe.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for putting it so beautifully and properly. So, sir, I would like to ask you, Dr. Awasthi, sir, you spoke about, Kellogg School of Management students visiting IMT and all. Now, cross-cultural education, we believe that it is important, not only for the university level, but also at the school level. It is equally important. But I think like in management, we do have the subjects like CCM and all, cross-cultural management, which we teach students, specifically to the MBA students. But how to have those things for the school students as well? So nowadays, like probably our parents and all, they were not very keen to send the students, to send us outside. But nowadays, parents have become open, right? Like my daughter is in 12th, so besides universities, colleges in India, I'm looking at the options outside India as well. So how to inculcate that cross-cultural sensitization among the school students? Because they are probably flying abroad after schools.
Basically what I understand, we are doing this cross-culture to understand each other's culture and respect further. In CBSE system, the CBSE has also introduced from last year a cross-cultural collaboration. So the students of UP, they are collaborating with the students of Meghalaya. And what we are trying to do, we are trying to learn their cultures, their languages, their festivals, and the people are making posters and PPTs on that and sharing with each other. Same way in, for example, if we talk about the school students, so we are having collaboration with the international schools also. During the COVID time, this thing has also increased. Basically, everybody was free and people were ready to collaborate also virtually. There are schools, there is a special Facebook page for the school where schools can put and their post that my class 4 students want to interact with the class 4 students of a USA school or a UK school. And then they get that 100 messages or 50 messages, okay, we are ready. And then we do the cross-culture programs. The basic idea behind this is only one thing, that people should understand each other and we should know one thing. That yesterday only I was discussing with one thing, with a person. A parent आया था, बड़ी interesting story है, I share with you. मैंने उसको पूछा कि क्या आपने कभी ये नोटिस किया कि नोएडा में कितने % लोग हैं जो आउट ऑफ इंडिया फॉरेनर्स हैं यहाँ जॉब कर रहे हैं? तो मैंने कुछ सोचा नहीं. Go and find out. You will find that at least 20 to 25% people, they are coming from different places, especially different nations. What places? Places तो 99% नोड़ा निकालेगा. तो 25 इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि इंडिया में we don't have that kind of the people who can play those roles. We have people because our people are going outside to play those roles only. If India can give a CEO to Google, then India can give CEO to any company also. Why not? Now, why a Japanese company can't have a CEO from India? They can have. But the problem is what? But our students, they don't know what kind of the things they have to learn for the collaboration. तो सबसे बड़ी बात है जो मैडम ने भी एंड में कही थी अपनी भाषा पे गर्व होना. रशिया स्ट्रॉन्ग क्यों है? एवरीथिंग इन रशिया, नो इंग्लिश. चाइना स्ट्रॉन्ग क्यों है? एवरीथिंग इज इन देयर ओन लैंग्वेज. जो एनईपी भी कह रही है कि मदर टंग में पढ़ाओ बच्चों को. They are not following any universal language, any language, foreign language. They are following their own language. हम लोग क्या है? हम लोग मिक्स चलते हैं. हमें इंटरनेशनल सिटीजन भी बनना है, हमें इंडियन भी बनना है. और मिक्स के चक्कर में पता नहीं हम क्या बन जाते हैं. We don't know. Frankly speaking, we don't know that what we are trying to become. Because we are trying to be good with the Hindi also and then English also, then our mother tongue, maybe Kannada, maybe Tamil, maybe something else. So we are trying to understand the concept in 3 different languages. तो ये भी एक प्रॉब्लम है हमारे इंडिया के साथ कि हम एक मदर टंग में भी समझना चाहते हैं, फिर एक इंग्लिश में भी हमें समझना है क्योंकि बात करें तो कॉर्पोरेट तो इंग्लिश मांगेगा, ठीक है. और तीसरा मुझे खुद के लिए भी समझना है कि मुझे आता क्या है. एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मेरे माइंड में कुछ आया कि नहीं आया. अभी बात चल रही थी एजुकेशन. मैं आपको बात को बताता हूँ. व्हाट हैज़ हैपेंड, वी आर टेकिंग वेरी ह्यूज अमाउंट एज ए फीस फॉर द BBA MBA. तो ऐसे ही एक MBA के डायरेक्टर थे, उनके पास एक पेरेंट आके मिला. उसने कहा मैंने 22 लाख दिया MBA करने का और मेरे बच्चे को 5 लाख का पैकेज मिला. क्या है व्हाट इज दिस? उसने बहुत बढ़िया जवाब दिया. उसने कहा आई एम नॉट रनिंग ए फैक्ट्री कि प्रोडक्ट बनाऊंगा और उसमें प्राइस टैग लगा दूंगा, इसका प्राइस टैग ये है. आई एम जस्ट इम्पार्टिंग द एजुकेशन स्किल. कौन सा बच्चा कितना स्किल लेकर जाएगा मुझे नहीं पता. द्रोणाचार्य ने सोचा सब अर्जुन बन जाए, नहीं बन पाए. ओनली वन पीपल हैज बिकम अर्जुन. तो दिस इज ऑल लाइक दिस. तो कोलैबोरेशन मैडम मेरे हिसाब से कोलैबोरेशन के साथ एक ही एंगल है, दैट इज ओनली वन एंगल कि वी वांट टू क्रिएट अ सिटीजन हु आर ग्लोबली फिट. क्योंकि जो हम पहले संस्कृत में बोलते थे वासुदेव कुटुंबकम, और वो चीज़ आज वाकई में हो रही है. वी आर लीडिंग टुवर्ड्स दैट. Because if you go to the Canada, you will find the 50% of the population of Canada is Indian. वहाँ पे पंजाबी खाना ज़्यादा बनता है, उनका अपना खाना लोगों का टेस्ट भूल गया. They are using our recipes. ठीक है. If you go to UK, you will find the 30% population of India. अब USA का आपको अगर if you see the history of USA, you will find उनका कोई नेटिव था ही कोई नहीं. जैसे नोएडा में बहुत कम नेटिव लोग थे, बाकी लोग सारे फॉरेनर्स थे. तो USA में you will find what is happening. Why they are respecting everyone? Why they are respecting every culture? Because the people have come from different places. दिल्ली NCR हम जितने फेस्टिवल हम लोग सेलिब्रेट करते हैं उतने फेस्टिवल बंगाल में और पंजाब में सेलिब्रेट नहीं होते जितना दुर्गा पूजा और हम बैसाखी जहाँ मनाते हैं. Because we are having that population, we have all kind of the cross cultural things, and this basically teach us कि हमें रिस्पेक्ट कैसे. एंड दिस इज द गुरुकुल. जो बात उसमें मैं मांग आ रही थी इन द गुरुकुल, सिर्फ गुरुकुल को मिलता है उसमें ओनली वन बेनिफिट, वन एडवांटेज. वो क्या था कि चाइल्ड को केवल एक ही आदमी स्पॉइल कर सकता था, गुरु, बाकी नहीं कर सकते थे. हमारे यहाँ पे चाइल्ड को सब कुछ स्पॉइल कर सकता है. गुरु तो करेगा, पेरेंट भी करेगा, फ्रेंड भी करेगा, सब लोग करेंगे. बट इन द गुरुकुल सिस्टम देयर वाज ओनली वन पर्सन who was spoiling the mind of child, that was the guru. and उसको पता था कि मुझे कितना स्पॉइल करना है और कितना उसमें निकालना है. This was the only benefit what I feel. So, this is cross cultural collaboration. We should have the cross cultural collaboration not for the country but for the world also, so that we should respect each other.
बिल्कुल सर. और respect can be taught everywhere. मतलब teaching and learning need not to be formalized. वो एक वैल्यू सिस्टम है जो हम शुरू से शुरुआत करें तो कैन बिकम अ पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ आवर नेचर एज वेल. सो
Yes, definitely. Yeah. This is something which I really strongly feel about. So just mentioned if India can give the CEO to Google and many others, why not to every other company? So my thing is, why should an Indian go there to become the CEO? Why can't India make the Google and be here? You know, and I think that is a very I think an issue that has to be addressed, and nobody is talking about it.
Answer. इसका आंसर एक ही है मैडम, because India is not providing that kind of environment to its citizen, and we need to create that environment basically. मेरा एक nephew है, he is working with NASA, ठीक है, अब वो NASA ही क्यों गया, वो उसने यहाँ भी कर सकता है इसरो में, but NASA is giving that thing to this guy which ISRO was not giving. तो इंडिया की प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि इंडिया अपने बेस्ट लोगों को बेस्ट ट्रीट नहीं करता है, ठीक है, तो इसलिए ब्रेन ड्रेन हम पढ़ते हैं, वी आर रीडिंग ब्रेन ड्रेन, ठीक है, फ्रॉम लास्ट 30 ईयर्स हम सुन ही रहे हैं कि ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा है, ब्रेन ड्रेन हो रहा है. व्हाई दिस ब्रेन ड्रेन? आपके पास नासा में यू विल फाइंड 30% ऑफ द साइंटिस्ट आर इंडियन. Yes, professor. All Indians.
I'm sorry to interrupt, sir. Just I want to add one point because it's related to 2-3 questions. One is cross-cultural collaboration. Second is you mentioned about not treated well in India. What we see next 10 years is elimination of the political boundaries. So, elimination of political boundaries. The example of Elon Musk. The example of Facebook. We will not be having political boundaries in next 10 years, maybe 15 years, it will take some time. But there would be no mention of a country as a political identity. That is the way we are heading towards, right? If a person having all financial data about you, and he can control the complete thing. One day WhatsApp was down, and we could see the impact on the world, right? It happened on 4th of October, I can still remember. So that is the kind of transition we are going into. That is the kind of technological changes going to happen in next 10 to 15 years, and your generation would be witnessing it, and we would be in retirement mode maybe. But here it is more important to understand the cross-cultural collaboration, because on the other side, the person working, I don't know him personally, maybe he is a person from Korean background, and they have their own notions about the people from other countries. They have their own notions about their own culture. They have their own egos, right? So I need to understand that, respect that, and despite that, I need not to forget my roots, because my roots is my strength. The way sir was saying, ma'am was saying, we have our own important personal identities in terms of our culture, and they are putting us in front everywhere in geography. Anywhere, Indians have certain agility towards work, they have certain kind of mental ability, they have those kind of thinking parameters which other people are not having. It is scientifically proven, because we have been raised into a certain environment. So keep that intact, because that is your strength. And in coming years, there would be no India, I guess so. There would be a world where people are talking to different universes, not within this particular planet. So it is more important to understand that transition which is happening now, and to be prepared for it.
True that, absolutely, absolutely. We have to look at the larger sphere beyond these individual collaborations which we are currently talking about. So coming back, again I will request Dr. Tyagi only to reflect upon that, ma'am, like what would be, as a school, as an institution, what would be your expectations, or what are the things you would be looking towards when you go to the forward collaboration? Like which kind of institutes or which kind of universities would be your, your preference to collaborate with, whether it's the government, aided, or they are better in the terms of their infrastructure resources, or the type of courses which they are running. So what would be your checkpoints which you would be looking to?
Yeah, I got it, the question. Like I just said, my first preference would be the course. The kind of course that particular university and college is offering, the variety of courses they are offering. When I talk about course, I'm not talking only about the content part or the curriculum part. Yes, it should be in line with the industry needs, the way I said, the transition is happening. It should be in line with that. Secondly, the kind of faculty they have, is it aligned with the industry? Do they know about it, or they are just redundant, just doing the syllabus part and imparting the information, not the knowledge part. And the third thing I think would be the kind of resources they have to impart that particular thing. Are they collaborating with the industry or not? What kind of realistic approach they have for their course? This is the most important part for me, because if this is in place, there's no question of good placement, there would be no question of a good exposure. So first and foremost important thing would be the whole thing about the curriculum or the course part. So for me, that is the first point or preferences.
Definitely, ma'am. If anybody else would like to add to it, maybe ma'am. I would also request Dr. Swami to, sir, recently we've seen that as per the latest QS rankings, not many of the Indian institutes have made, rather none of them have made it to top 100. Although the numbers have increased, it's a little silver lining which we see, but still out of 1300 universities ranked globally, only 35 Indian universities have made it to the cut. So do you think that these kind of collaborations which we are talking about today will help the Indian universities to increase their ranking and global footprints?
Yes, definitely such collaborations would be a big help in improving the rankings. But before that, before the collaborations, I feel why it always happens that like we feel so proud of our IITs and AIMS, but when it comes to the international rankings, they fare poorly. I am of the opinion that this is because all of them belong to the government sector. You look at the international rankings. You look at Harvard, you talk about Wharton, Yale, all of them are private universities. So I believe lack of privatization in the education sector, or conversely I can say the government control, which is hugely there till date in the higher education sector, is primarily responsible for these poor rankings. Means we may keep on feeling proud of our IITs, we may keep on feeling. But then the point is that unless the government releases its control, I believe a few years before the government had to release part of its control over the IIMs, and thereafter the fee increased and all that. But then unless the government is closely controlling this higher education sector, and government control has got so many disadvantages, unless the government privatizes the higher education sector in a true manner, these rankings can never improve. In the Indian context, we have a very odd kind of perception. I tell you, the perception is converse in the Western world and in the Indian world. In India, we believe that government educational system, these institutions, especially in the higher education sector, not in the school part. In the school part, it is the other way around. So it is believed that the government higher educational institutions are better than the private ones. While in the Western world, it's the other way around. Means I don't remember any good ranked institution from the Western world which is run by the government. So Harvard, Wharton, Yale, all these are Oxford, Cambridge, all these are privately run institutions, and the Indian institutions do not fare well in the international rankings because I believe of the government control. Now I come to your question. Because I was supposed to tell you the reason which I feel. Yes, collaborations definitely would be a big help because as I said, collaborations mean that 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. So when we can get those kind of synergies, our rankings are definitely going to improve. The transition has to be done in a seamless manner because many times we find that the student fares very well in the school but does not do well in the college because this transition is not seamless. So collaborations in various aspects which we discussed very nicely today. So collaborations in all those areas would definitely be a help in improving the quality and therefore the rankings. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Because what we were, yes, sir, please.
I want to share my experience on this with sir. During the 2012, we were working on a project, and the project was to measure the entrepreneurship ranking of India. And when we were, this was in collaboration with the three institutes, India में 3 लोग कर रहे थे इसको, EDI, IMT Ghaziabad, and ISP. And this was the global project. We have to submit the report to the entrepreneurship forum globally to understand what are the entrepreneurship ranking of India. So जब हमने क्वेश्चन को भरना शुरू किया when we started, we found that there was not a single parameter which was made for us. बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है, मेरा अपना एक्सपीरियंस. हम यहाँ पे देखिए ऐसा है, we need to understand two more things. कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है? इंडिया का कॉन्टेक्स्ट है, हम लोग एंटरप्रेन्योर हैं बाई चॉइस नहीं है. देखिए हम लोग बाई चॉइस नहीं है, हम लोग क्या है सिचुएशन से हैं, परिस्थितियाँ हमें एंटरप्रेन्योर बनाती हैं. हमारे यहाँ और वो लोग उसको मानते नहीं हैं. वहाँ पे एंटरप्रेन्योर कौन है? जो बाई चॉइस, जो अपने मन से बनता है. हमारे यहाँ तो जिसको नौकरी नहीं मिलेगी दुकान खोल के एंटरप्रेन्योर बन जाएगा, बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव द सोशल सिक्योरिटी. And dear, those Western people have social security. The context is totally different. बहुत आर्गुमेंट हुआ, बहुत डिस्कशन हुआ हमारा, बिकॉज ऑन दिस जो सारे लोग ISB के भी फैक्टर बैठे हुए थे, हमारे भी बैठे हुए थे. एवरीबडी वाज, मतलब उनका बैकग्राउंड जो था दैट वाज फ्रॉम पर्ड्यू यूनिवर्सिटी, फ्रॉम हार्वर्ड यूनिवर्सिटी, ऐसे लोग बैठे हुए थे. देन आई स्ट्रांगली सेड दिस थिंग कि सर कॉन्टेक्ट ही नहीं हमारा. हम लोग को और पता क्या परसेंटेज निकली हमारी 0.2%. And when we have started for another process, हमने एक्विस और एम्बा एक्रेडिटेशन से आपने सुनी होगी सर, क्योंकि ये कॉलेज ही करते हैं, MBA कॉलेज करेंगे इसको, बाकी नहीं करता होते. जब तक आप इंटरनेशनल रैंकिंग के लिए नहीं जाएंगे तो आपको कम से कम 3-4 रैंकिंग तो आपको करनी है. इफ यू वांट टू गो टू यूरोप आपको एम्बा करनी पड़ेगी. नहीं करोगे तो आपको कोई पूछेगा नहीं. आपको एक्विस रैंकिंग देनी पड़ेगी, नहीं पूछेगा. और जब रैंकिंग में जाएंगे देन इफ यू सी देयर क्वेश्चनर, तब आप दोबारा फिर सरप्राइज होंगे कि आवर UGC AICT is giving the ranking or giving the accreditation on different parameters and they are different parameters. तो मुझे लगता है इंडिया से कुछ स्ट्रॉन्ग एक ऐसी लॉबी भी होनी चाहिए, व्हाट आई फील, who can guide the वेस्टर्न people to create a new questionnaire. ठीक है, पीसा में क्या हुआ, what has happened with our students. हम लोगों ने पीसा पे असेस किया, इंडिया सेकंड लास्ट, सब लोग परेशान कि इंडिया के बच्चों को कुछ आता ही नहीं. ठीक है, बट हु हैज क्रिएटेड दिस पीसा. मैं अभी मैडम की बात कर रहा था, मैडम कह रही थी कि हम लोग बड़े पहले से हमारा सिस्टम स्ट्रॉन्ग है. डेफिनेटली हम लोग कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड एजुकेशन की हम बात कर रहे हैं. महाभारत काल से अर्जुन की कॉम्पिटेंसी धनुष में थी, धनुष सिखाया उसको. भीम की गदा में थी, गदा सिखाया उसको. वी आर डूइंग इट फॉर लास्ट सो मेनी ईयर. आज भी हम कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड एजुकेशन देते हैं. हमारे सिस्टम में पहले से ही टीचर समझाना शुरू करता था कि बेटे गो एंड लर्न दिस स्किल, दिस विल बी हेल्पफुल फॉर यू. The teacher basically what they are trying to do at that time, they were trying to understand the potential of the student, और potential के बेस से उसको हम करियर की ऑप्शन बनाते हैं. So we are doing it, but the problem is the way we are doing that is totally different from the Western people. और मुझे लगता है कि now the time has come कि हमें अपने तरीके से भी कुछ चीजें करवानी पड़ेंगी, so that क्योंकि you see history, we are writing history, we are the people, and if we will not guide the world, then world will be working at their own. हम लोग तो पीछे जाएंगे. They definitely they have to do it. क्योंकि ऐसा नहीं है कि we are not doing good, we are doing good. When I am saying when my IIT candidate and when my IFT candidate, he can become a very good fashion designer also, and he is earning name and fame throughout the globe. है ना सर? वैसा तो नहीं है कि नहीं कर रहा. We are earning it.
I think it is all about perception, sir, because in QS ranking, I was actually reading their criteria. So 25 to 30% weightage is on the perception. And the perception about Indian institutes is not that great.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ki we need to ask them about, and we need to discuss with these organizations ki why you are putting only these parameters, why?
Yes.
And so I think this is the task of the IIT and IIMs. They should ask, because उनके लिए प्रॉब्लम है। लेकिन कैसे हम लोग स्कूल वाले ना टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया रैंकिंग कर दी, हम कहते हैं पेड है, कोई नहीं पूछा, नोबडी इज आस्किंग। एसटी रैंकिंग निकालती है, कहते हैं नहीं यार ये तो उनकी निकलती है जो टाइप के होंगे। सेम वे इंडियन आईआईटीज एंड आई एम सर ने कहा गवर्नमेंट बॉडीज हैं, दे आर नॉट कंसीडरिंग देम सीरियसली, लेट देम डू, वी आर नॉट पार्टिसिपेटिंग, वो तो जबरदस्ती हमें दे रहे हैं।
Right.
Yeah, this is working. I can see the faces, long faces now after hearing all this.
We are coming to the conclusion.
Don't worry. I'm talking about actual experience, industry-based experience. When you go in the industry to work, they do see your college from where you have passed, but other than that, your whole personality matters, right? And ये मेरा पर्सनल नॉलेज है, मैंने देखा है इंडस्ट्री में लोगों को कैसे हायर करते हुए। टॉकिंग अबाउट वेरियस इंडस्ट्रीज, मैनेजमेंट ऑल्सो, सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री ऑल्सो, क्रॉस कल्चरल रेपुटेशन ऑल्सो, कि आप एक इंटरव्यू में आपको जो सिचुएशनल प्रॉब्लम दी जाती है उसको कैसे सॉल्व करते हैं, दैट मैटर्स अ लॉट। और वो कब आती है? प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड, योर नॉलेज, योर वर्किंग एक्सपीरियंस, हाउ मच यू आर एक्सपोज्ड टू डिफरेंट सिचुएशंस। और वो आपको आपका कॉलेज दे रहा है तो अच्छी बात है, वो एक बेसिक प्लेटफॉर्म दे रहा है, बट अदर देन दैट यू हैव टू वर्क फॉर दैट, यू हैव टू स्ट्राइव हार्ड। ऐसे ही नहीं 30% पॉपुलेशन ऑफ नासा में इंडियन बैठा हुआ है और गूगल का CEO इंडियन है, या जो मेजॉरिटी फाइनेंशियल फर्म्स वर्ल्ड में है उनमें इंडियंस काम कर रहे हैं, दे आर मैनेजिंग वेल ओनली बिकॉज दे हैव दोज स्किल्स। It's not like everybody is passing out from IIT or IIM and then going there, or from Wharton or Yale. It's because of their skills, what they have achieved through their journey. So you are a product, but you need to work on yourself for again and again upgrade yourself. Phone में भी upgrading आता रहता है ना, system में भी आता रहता है, तो why not we can upgrade ourselves? So it's all about upgrading our skill level, and then there's no stop. You can go anywhere at any level.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm elated, and I don't want to end this discussion, and we would like to continue it further. But yes, this is the lunch time, so there are many takeaways that we have from the panel members. As far as the physical resources are concerned, the collaboration between sports facilities and studios that you were talking about, ma'am. The case studies and research work that you were talking about, various orientation programs, the certificate programs, and not only certificates, but the learning outcomes that has been pointed by you. So many good takeaways that we have actually got from this discussion, and definitely it is not going to end here. We are going to get in touch, and we will remain in touch, and we will further collaborate on the various things that has been discussed here. So I would like to give it away to my co-convener, Dr. Shanu Jain ma'am, to say the vote of thanks to all the panel members. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. So this has been indeed a very enriching session. So to summarize, it's learn, unlearn, and relearn. And the entire thing can be summed up into 3, that is connection, communication, and collaboration with the community at large is what we all should be heading towards. So before I present the formal vote of thanks, I would request Dr. Swami and Dr. Ranjan to please step forward and also present a small token of gratitude from our side to our esteemed panelists. First, I would request Dr. Neeraj Awasthi sir to please come and accept this. No, sir, it's all.
Culture.
Guru में कोई culture नहीं होता सर. Guru is gender neutral. That's what we are.
Huge round of applause for sir. Next, I will request Ms. Nidhi Sirohi ma'am to please come forward. not the least, I would request Dr. Tyagi ma'am to please raise the dais. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Also, I will request, I'll just take a moment again, ma'am, I'm so sorry. Miss Neha to please come to the dais and accept this small appreciation. Thank you, ma'am. So, as they say, all good things come to an end. So is it with this panel discussion. So I would formally like to extend my heartful gratitude to all the esteemed panelists, to all the teachers and staff who have accompanied our panelists for taking their valuable time and sharing their very insightful thoughts and experiences with us. Also, I would like to thank and acknowledge the incessant support from the Okay, so sorry for this interruption. If there's any student that should have been before I should have asked this to you all. So if there's any student who wants to ask anything or has any experience or has something to share upon, you're most welcome to. So you're all.
So maybe just a few questions. What was your experience when you moved from school's life to college life? Was it a culture shock, education shock, or was it a happy transition? What was your first reaction when you entered, left school campus, which you were there for 12 years and entered a college campus? Honest reaction.
Anybody wants to share?
Just a few questions.
Yeah, because you're all fresh from school, so this must have got some nostalgia to you, and you must have some school memories.
Tisha would like to answer.
Yeah, Tisha. Anything. It can be your own personal thought or story, as I say.
After school, I'm learning a lot of things from this college because I am a little bit introvert type of person. So after coming to college, I'm learning a lot of new things. I'm learning that how to improve myself, how to become good in education, and I'm getting an opportunity to take participation in all these kind of sessions. So I want to thank all of my colleagues and all of my teachers who are giving me these opportunities.
Yes, so all our campus ambassadors.
Tisha gets the job. It was a situational based question. How much you are ready for an unexpected kind of a thing? You were not expecting this. We, as an audience, you will be asked one question or maybe something to speak, but she gets the job. Right?
Sir, I want to say one thing, that I really like your idea about News One, which you told earlier, that it should be proposed to schools and college as well.
You can create your own format here, the campus at DME.
Okay. So, my past experience from school to college has been a great journey. Till now, I am learning very new things, and now I am promoted to from campus ambassador to campus manager, and I am very happy about that. Thank you so much, Purva ma'am and Shalini ma'am, for giving me and Muskan this opportunity. And I am learning new things every day. So I love to explore new opportunities in my coming life, and I will try my level best to handle each and everything well.
If there's anything you want to add, Muskan?
First of all, good afternoon everyone. So as he said that we both are promoted as campus managers now. As an individual, when I was in my 11th and 12th, I was a complete different person. And when right now I'm speaking in front of you, I believe that it takes a lot of courage to speak in front of a lot of people and uh, understand their ideas and influence in your life too, and adapt them. So basically the first change that I got from my schooling to my college was that confidence thing. Right now I'm so confident I can come in front of everyone and speak. Right now I'm speaking even though, but I can come to that place and speak fluently, even though I'll shiver for a moment, but after that I'll speak fluently. So the first thing that changed was my courage and the confidence I received. And after that, I got so many opportunities till now that you were telling, ma'am, you were telling about that exposure and your skills. Right now, being in first year and in the second semester, I can feel that I have experienced a lot many things. Now I've worked in 4 internships and I'm proud of that, to be very honest. And when I got promoted as the campus manager, I feel really, really blessed that I got this opportunity, even though that is always there to support me, and every faculty of mine like Purva ma'am, Shalini ma'am, every faculty who is not even present here, they just push me to do the best I can do. So this is the one thing I believe, that in school most of the times you are just like the backbenchers. I was the backbencher, but most of the time what happens in school na ki the faculty, the teachers are just like go with the curriculum, that's it. Like outreach cell is going with that webinar thing. Personally, most of the schools agreed to go with that, but most of the schools are still there that they are not agreeing with that webinar thing, and we just keep on telling them that it is really beneficial for your students, but they don't agree with that. Most of the schools are still on that mindset that we don't want to get a collaboration.
Actually, where Muskan is coming from, we are running the Campus Ambassador program in DME, where we are giving the opportunity to few selected students to collaborate with schools, right? So they are the ones who are calling up schools and trying to fix up the webinars and all. So they know the actual marketing, because many a times the phones are being banged on their faces. So that's what she's talking about. But yes, they have got certain successes and all also.
Ma'am, I am putting a question that most of the schools are still on that mindset that we don't want a collaboration with the colleges, because we don't want our students to just get into the college like just to face the world itni jaldi. Like they don't believe in this. So most like, what is your opinion to tell all the schools? Like, would you take any initiative, or would you try to share on your social medias to convince them to go for the webinars and everything?
Our school is already conducting
webinars
and seminars with different levels in different fields also. And your question regarding exposing children too early, we were discussing that also earlier. Already they are exposed to everything, aren't we? So how we are protecting children by restricting them for a positive interaction or a positive exposure? I think it's baseless. Children are already exposed to everything. It's only directing them in a particular constructive exposure that school can do through these webinars.
I'll just add on to it. So I did my digital marketing after my PhD when the job required, and that's how I got it. Not by choice, but I wanted to learn so that I am able to tackle certain things at work. And then when I started teaching, the MBA students started learning as a part of the curriculum. In the BBA, they used to have it in their 3rd year, digital marketing. Now with NEP and the revised syllabus, the 1st year is being required to mandatory undergo digital marketing. So this transition is so fast, and things that we would want to tell the school students that don't wait to come till graduation. Don't wait till you are in the class where, let's say, 80% of the students already know digital marketing and you are left out. Skills like MS Office, making a PowerPoint, Excel, students used to learn during their internships when they were exposed to the corporate, when everybody was using Excel. Now it is very important that right at the class 11, 12th, they know basic softwares. So this is what the DME's approach has been, that to inform the students, the parents that, look, this is where the world has reached. This is what the industry is wanting, And in 3 years of time, don't expect colleges to give everything with so much of other things happening. It has to start quite early. It's just the way entrepreneurship has started quite early. And you'll be very, very surprised, ma'am, I come across parents asking to write letter of recommendation for some XYZ for university. Sir does lot of LORs writing, I do that. And because I have a daughter who is 9-year-old, so I always ask, what is the fees you are giving there? Ma'am, 80 lakhs, 70 lakhs. I said, are you buying a flat? Are you buying a villa? What are you buying? You know, and what is the job that you are getting in return? So that we have, not even thought of. I said, why don't you start a business with so much of seed capital? You have 70 lakhs to give to outside economy. Why don't you start your business? That they are not willing to. And which is why the entrepreneurship concept has been started much before they choose their professional education. They don't even need to do a professional education to be an entrepreneur. And that is where we would like to reach out to various schools at all levels, whether government or privately funded, that the conversation should begin much early. Not when they reach graduation and their parents have already paid the fees of their graduation. Now they're stuck, they have to do that 3-year, 4-year course. This thought process comes much early. Whether they want to be a chef, like Sir said, or a hairdresser, have even the parents considered the courses which are meant for it, which places they are providing. The government of India is giving a thought at a much larger level for vocational courses, for entrepreneurship, because the people are looking for high packages and the West is providing them. So they either move there after studies or they go and they start studies there. Because absorbing the educated people who are from West is much easier. They trust their own education rather than our education.
More about economics.
Yes.
But we have already influxed money into their economy. That's why they are taking people from their own
Yes.
institute.
So they are, like Sir said, catch them out. We will not wait for you to become manager and reach Google. हमसे ही पढ़ो, हम ही job दें. That's what's happening. So stopping them happens here that this conversation should happen with even parents also. Why do you want to send your children abroad? It's not needed. Wonderful schools are here, wonderful education system is here. Trusting your own Gurukul system has to be there. सब बाहर जाएंगे तो फिर बाहर ही तो CEO बनेंगे. हम तो अपनी कंपनीज भी नहीं खोल रहे हैं, प्रमोट नहीं कर रहे हैं.
Ma'am, I would like to add one thing. I was very introvert person at my school, and मुझे कभी भी स्कूल में प्रिंसिपल ने मुझे कभी अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं दी कि आप जो है डिबेट कंपटीशन में यू गो द थिएटर, यू गो द, बिकॉज हमारे स्कूल में क्या था, न्यूज़पेपर आपको रीडिंग करनी ही करनी है. मुझे कभी अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं दी गई, या बहुत सारे बच्चे जिनको अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं दी गई स्टेज तक जाने के लिए. तो मैं जब आई वॉज लाइक 2009 में जब मैंने MBA किया, उसके बाद मुझे बहुत सारी मेरे अंदर सारी कॉन्फिडेंस आया लोगों से. आई वॉज डूइंग द डोर टू डोर कि मेरे को कॉन्फिडेंस आया लोगों से बात करने का, मैं स्टेज पे जा सकूँ. फिर मैंने थिएटर किया, बहुत सारी चीज़ें मैंने अपने सिर्फ कॉन्फिडेंस. आई वॉज गोइंग टू स्कूल, क्लास वाइज प्रेजेंटेशन आई वॉज गिविंग द स्टूडेंट, इनकलकेट द रीडिंग हैबिट, प्लीज़ न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ो, क्योंकि मुझे वो चीज़ फेस करनी पड़ी. तो मैं शीशे के सामने जाके न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ती थी, इंग्लिश न्यूज़पेपर, FM, इतनी सारी चीज़ें आई वॉज डूइंग आफ्टर द स्कूल. मैं प्रेसिडियम में गई, आई वॉज इन प्रेसिडियम, वहाँ पर सीधे लिखा हुआ था प्लीज़ स्पीक इन इंग्लिश अदरवाइज यू विल बी लाइक चार्ज फॉर 5 रुपीज़ पेनाल्टी. दैट वॉज वेरी इंसेन. मुझे लगा कि यहाँ पर अगर हिंदी निकल गई तो फिर तो कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाएगा. मतलब लगा कि मुझे कुछ, मैं हिंदी बोलती हूँ तो लोग देखते हैं कि कुछ गलत बोल दिया क्या, ऐसा कुछ गलत लग गया क्या. तो दैट्स वाई मुझे लगता है कि अगर स्कूल एक अपॉर्चुनिटी हर एक बच्चे को देगा कि स्टेज पे जाओ, नहीं आता कोई बात नहीं, आपके पास लोग हंसेंगे कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन आप स्टेज पे जाओ, आप ये 5 न्यूज़पेपर डेली की पढ़ो, आपको कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगा. आपको अगर थिएटर, आपको एक्टिंग नहीं आती, आपको ऑब्जर्व करना नहीं आता, तो फिर आप कोई बात नहीं, आप जाओ, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, हम सिखाएंगे आपको. तो ये सिचुएशन यहाँ तक नहीं आए, मुझे ये लगता है. मे बी आई एम रॉन्ग, बट मेरे को ये मुझे ऐसे ही
यहाँ लोग प्रेजेंट टाइम तो प्लीज सिर्फ एक मंत्रा दैट आई वांट टू गिव यू, मैं सबको देता हूँ कि नेवर थॉट अबाउट अ प्रॉब्लम, ऑलवेज थॉट अबाउट सोल्यूशन। आपको सिर्फ सोल्यूशन देना है, प्रॉब्लम नहीं देना है। आप मैनेजर हैं, यू आर गोइंग टू बिकम ए मैनेजर, आपको सोल्यूशन निकालने हैं, तो डोंट वर्क विद द प्रॉब्लम। पहले सोल्यूशन सोच रखो और तभी आप इनोवेटिव बनेंगे। यू शुड हैव सोल्यूशन फॉर एवरी प्रॉब्लम। आप ये मान के चलिए कि आपका सोल्यूशन है, आप ये कोई बात मान के चलिए कि आपका सोल्यूशन नहीं है। तो आप लोग जो गोइंग टू बिकम ए मैनेजर्स आफ्टर 3 years और 4 years, सब लोग आपके पास प्रॉब्लम लेके आएंगे, लेकिन आपको किसी के पास नहीं, आपको सोल्यूशन देंगे, इनोवेटिव सोल्यूशन। हम यही पढ़ाते हैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में कि जो एंटरप्रेन्योर होता है वो हर एक चीज़ को एक डिफरेंट वे से देखता है, वो नॉर्मल तरीके से देखता ही नहीं है। यहाँ पे लोगों को प्रॉब्लम रहती है, वहाँ उसको आइडिया लगाता है, दिस इज अ डिफरेंस। और मैनेजर वो होगा जिस यहाँ पे लोग बैठ के ये सोच रहे होंगे कि हाउ टू डू दिस थिंग, वो कर चुका हो। तो इसलिए आप ऑलवेज थिंक पॉजिटिव, ये सोच के चलो कि मुझे सोल्यूशन देना है। आई एम हियर ओनली टू प्रोवाइड सोल्यूशन, आई एम नॉट हियर टू डिस्कस द प्रॉब्लम। मैं प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस करने ना आया हूँ, ना मैं करूँगा, मैं सोल्यूशन देने आया, सोल्यूशन देके जाऊँगा। ठीक है, तो इसको याद रखना, लाइफ में आगे बढ़ना है।
Thank you so much. So without much delay, I would again express my thanks to the panelists, to the incessant support from the management, from our visionary Director General Sir, Vice Chairman Sir, Chairperson Ma'am, Chairperson Sir, Director Sir, and our HOD Ma'am. Also, I would request. Also, I would like to thank all the heads and deans, the support from them, specifically Dr. Saxena, for all these arrangements in the studio. Also to Mr. Vishal Sir, IT support from Abhishek Sir, Admin Sir, Daisy Ma'am, and all the hospitality and support staff. Last but not the least, to all the wonderful audience, our students who are here and have gained a lot from this discussion. To all the volunteers who have been running pillar to post to make this a success. To all the faculty members from management school who are here and have been a constant support at the backdrop to make this event a success. And to my convener, Dr. Shalini Gautam ma'am, for meticulously planning and helping in all the ways to make this event a success.